members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There's an extremely prominent, well-put-together podcast called Mormon Stories Podcast. They have done, officially, 2,066 episodes on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A lot of it is debunking the claims of the church, and a vast majority of it, I would say, now at least, is people talking about their experiences where they were abused within the church. Now, people watch this podcast, and then they go, oh, see, the church is abusive. Look, it's obvious the church is abusive. Let's do some quick math here. 2,066 episodes. Let's say for every episode, they actually did talk about an abuse case. And let's say every single victim in these abuse cases mentioned 20 people that abused them. That comes out to about just over 40,000 abusers, which Mormon Stories Podcast, I think, way to go. Way to put that in the open. I do think that there are abusive people in the church that need to be called out. I'm behind that. My problem is, if that number is real, let's compare it to the amount of people that are in the church. We know that there are about 17 million members of the church, but ex-members of the church are like, that's a lie! That's a lie! Okay, so I'm going to take 7 million people out of the equation. I'm going to drop it to 10 million. Now, if you have a problem with that, I guess DM me or put it in the chat, in the freaking comment section. But if we take 40,000 as a percent of 10 million people, it comes out to like 0.4% of every member of the church. So if you want to judge a whole religion based off of 0.4% of the population, that is wild. And before I get freaking clipped, yes, I think that 0.4% needs to be talked about. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about those, blow them out in the open. But to say that 0.4% is a accurate description of the way that the whole entire church is like, what even is that? I would never look at a different race or a different culture or a different religion and say, even up to like 15 to 20% of a different culture and religion, I would never look at them and be like, because of this 20% of this group, I think the whole entire group is now abusive and bad. And the interesting thing is, if you're listening every single day and you're hearing about 40,000+ abuse cases, yeah, you're going to think this is how it all is. That's what it's like living in a bubble, right? That's what they would tell me. Right? That's what they would tell me if I'm like, well, look at all these great things the church has done. They're like, step outside the bubble. Step outside the bubble. Anyways, I don't want to make bubble accusations. That's not really what I'm making this video for. What I'm trying to say is there's got to be a healthy way to be like, oh, there are abusers in the church. Let's figure out how to get rid of those guys. Instead of being like, there are abusers in the church, that means everyone in the church is probably abusive. Or this is happening in every single office and every single bishop's interview and the church is loving it. There's got to be a healthier way to talk about these victims without accusing a full religion of being abusive. That's all I'm saying.